there, I'm Margie Remmers-Davis, founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education, and this is a clip from one of our free Class Friday sessions. Stick around to the end and I'll share with you how you can join us live, absolutely free, every week. Now let's jump in. So when I was in the, when we were in this other sample company, okay? Remember I said that customers was found under sales and customers, as well as under customers with its own thing, okay? Remember that? All right, so this one is the one that has the, this is the old one. All right, I need to go to this one. There we go. There we go, there we go, okay? So this one, they have sales and get paid, but customers is not on it, okay? So I should have pointed out, let me go back to the dashboard here, is that when you click on one of these agents, okay? So I have to get used to that terminology. When you click on one of these agents, it opens up its own menu, okay? So when I clicked on accounting before, it opened up, oh, I'm sorry, I've been saying agents. They call them apps. Each app, which is different than the terminology they used to use. So it used to be that the term app was an external plugin, like an integration, and now they're using the app internally for each thing, okay? So here are my apps, and here is this extra menu, okay? So now they're bumping out, they've had more menus. So here's the accounting one. Here's the sales and get paid. This is what I'm trying to point out. There's no customers here. It's not like it used to be in the old one, okay? So you're not gonna find it under sales and get paid. You're gonna find it under Customer Hub, okay? Customer Hub. Now, as you know, a number of years ago, or you maybe you don't know, a number of years ago, Intuit purchased MailChimp. So now MailChimp is integrated into QuickBooks Online. We have no classes on MailChimp, don't have any plans to create one, but the idea is that in the Customer Hub, you could have leads, which are people who aren't yet your customers, but you could still have all of their contact information and use this to like email them out and marketing and all of that kind of stuff. And then have your customers, which are the people that actually buy stuff from you, okay? So remember how remember this is not the sample company. This is not a test drive. So there's no data in here. There's no customers in here yet. Okay, so you can import customers or you can add a customer manually. Now, when you get to add customer manually, this should look very familiar. One of the strategies that they took, what Intuit did, was over the last year or so, they have been changing up things underneath. Okay, remember like the big invoice change, so like the invoice thing changed, the expenses changed, like the whole interface changed. They did that piece by piece they did that piece by piece so that you would, not only so they could like test that little piece, but that also so that you would get familiar with that interface. And so all of the underneath, so when you're playing around with the new interface, you're gonna find that once you click deep enough, it looks exactly the same, okay? So this looks exactly the same. We're gonna say ABC company. And there was a question. Michelle says, could we import some of the data from the test drive? You could I don't know how to export I'm sure you could. There's probably a way to export the customers from the test drive and then import them. I know we have some exercises somewhere where we have some importable customer things. So that's something that we'll have to, that we as Acadian like have to think about, like what to provide for you. The challenge for Acadian is if you mess up, we can't go in and like fix your stuff, or like we can't. I don't want to get into the business of going into, we have 26,000 students. And we can't get into the business of going into 26,000 accounts whenever somebody makes a mistake or wants us to look at something, or like, oh, I don't understand what I did here. I mean, that's the beautiful thing of the sample company, is everybody has the same thing. And if you mess up, you just log out and log back in and it refreshes. So that's kind of where I'm stuck, like as the CEO of a company, like trying to figure out how can we give you all this material, but then still have you be like on your own. So anyway, short answer, Michelle, like, yes, you could, but you don't have to figure it out. All right, so let's talk about this customer. And this has been around, this new interface for customers has been around for a while, that there are these different sections, and each of these little buttons represents a section. So the first is the name and contact. If this is going to be a sub-customer, then you would have need to have a parent customer. And that was what I was initially going to talk about today, was sub-customers and how that all works. But here we are, exploring the new interface together. So that first section is the name and contact. Then we have addresses, which you can see how the little icon here matches this. The next one is notes and attachments. So I could click that, go straight to there, okay? And all of these go to each of these things: payments, additional info, and custom fields, all of that good stuff. Okay, so we're just going to click save. And now I have my first customer, but it doesn't have anything associated with it. Okay, so what I wanted to just spend the rest of the time talking about is what we see here on the screen, because it can be very confusing. Like, there's so much on the screen. You're like, what am I looking at? And some of it is similar to the old style, and some of it is new. And maybe you saw it on the old style, but you didn't really understand what it meant. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a minute. I want to go first to this little box right here. This box shows you the most recently used customers. So if there are, if there are 200 customers that are in the, in your QBO account, but there are only 5 customers that are super active and that you interact with all of the time, then this will show those 5 customers, and it just helps you, navigate better as you're working on customer accounts. That's why that's there. But it can take up a lot of real estate, and sometimes it's annoying. And so this little icon right here, it's a hamburger with a little arrow, is the collapse button. This collapse will collapse this little thing, that whole column. Here you can open it up again, the little hamburger with the arrow pointing the other direction. Okay, so you can always get more real estate by closing those left things. Now, I don't know what this plus is, so let's explore it together. What am I adding here? Oh, I'm adding a customer. Okay, so if I wanted to add a customer, I could do it there. So that's that one. And then we have this opened up. Remember when we went to, we actually went from the dashboard, we went the ones that were up at the top, and but then what it did basically was it opened my apps, okay? So, so here we were and we selected customers. Well, this also takes up real estate, and it's also annoying, and it also has a little arrow down there. So there's a hamburger, and there is the little arrow again, so you can close that again, okay? Now, right now, I am looking at the specific customer that I have selected, okay? So I added ABC Company, and now I'm looking at ABC Company. If I want to get, just to my list of customers, all my customers, that's what this little thing is here. So this is my list of all of my customers, okay? Now, interesting that this too has this little check out the new view with filters, and that we can switch between. So let's just explore this a little bit. Let's see. So I'm seeing in the chat that there are some issues. You get an error message that you need a voucher. You shouldn't need a voucher. I mean, I understand what the voucher thing is, but you shouldn't need a voucher. If you could send a support ticket in acadian.com/support, and then Lindsay, any of you are having problems with the setting up your new account, like I said, this is all new to us, so we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what you're seeing. Send looms, send screenshots, send whatever. The new support form has a place for you to upload screenshots and send, put your loom link, all of that stuff, so we can see. We need to be able to see what's happening on your end, so that we can figure out, for us as a company, it would be great to roll this out to everybody or have courses that can use this and all that stuff. So let us know what exactly you're seeing so we can figure it out. Okay? All right. So let's explore this. So this is the old bar, which will automatically filter your customers for specific things. So if you want to see a list of customers that you have sent invoices to, you would click this blue bar. If you want to see a list of customers that have unbilled income, okay? Unbilled income, we have exercises about that. The Pro Advisor tests require you learn about that. There's exercises in the gym where you can learn about that. Lots of ways, Acadian has lots of resources to learn about unbilled income. But basically what it means is you are collecting charges that you're then going to later send to your client. Okay, so maybe at the end of the month, maybe you go and clean somebody's house or mow somebody's lawn, every Friday, and then the last Friday of the month you send out an invoice. Okay, so until you send out that invoice, that is unbilled income. Okay, so if you want to see a list of all your customers that have unbilled income, that's what this is. Okay. If you want to see a list of customers that just have overdue invoices, that's what this is. If you want to see a list of customers, notice I'm saying if you want to see a list of customers every time, okay? That's because we're in the customer center. This is the customer place. So if you want to, and all of these are really just filters. And you can see right here that it applied this filter, and then you can clear the filter. If you clear the filter, that means you're viewing all of the customers. Okay, so I'm going to click that, and now I have my list of all of my customers. Okay, if I want to see customers that have open invoices and credits, that's that. If I want to see a list of customers that recently paid, I can do that. Okay, so that is this bar right here. Now let's take a look at the new view with filters. It's not as pretty. It doesn't have as many. Colors, but it has filters that you use in a different way. Okay, so here you can say, look at just the inactive customers or just the active. Notice that you don't have the option to have both. You're either looking at all the active or all the inactive. Okay, then we have customer types. Okay, customer types are like, if you want to select, if you want to say some of your customers are military, some of them are senior citizens, you know, whatever. Like if you want to segregate your customers, there isn't a whole lot that you can do with customer types. You can set up customer types, you can assign customer types to customers, and you can run a report of all of the customers by type. It's really designed to use in conjunction with a feature called price rules, which is how you like give a discount to like a military discount or a senior citizens discount. You would have to identify the customers that are military or are senior citizens, and then you can apply the, give them a 10% discount or whatever. Okay. That feature, price rules, is not currently working in the sample company. So if you wanted to play with it in your brand spanking new interface, you could do that. Okay. But that's what customer types are. And here, right here, is where you go to customer types. Angela says price rules. Yes, price rules. I don't know what more to say about that. So, I mean, we do have exercises that you can play around. I mean, you can go through the exercises about price rules, but you can't play with it in the sample company. So you could potentially use one of our exercises and play around with it in your new interface version. So yeah. Then we have billing city, and then you have filters where you can have even more things that you could select this list by. So I don't know, do we like the old one or the new one? The nice thing about, the old one is pretty. I like it. And it is, the old one is pretty, and it has predefined things. Like I know that I want to select this thing. And this one, like I have to click multiple things in order to get like that same list. So I don't know, we'll see. Search is just if you have a huge long list of customers you want to search through. Customize is you can sort your list, rows, columns, all of this good stuff, how you want it to appear. All of that stuff is in Customize. I've got a little bug on my screen. Okay. But it doesn't appear to have, so this is like how you want to sort it, and you can add multiple sorts. Like that's more flexible than it is now, but there's no, like what I wish that it had was I wish that it had like where I could define what these are. So if I go back to the original table view, maybe I like always having unbilled income. So wouldn't it be nice to have like my own thing that I set up where I could always filter by unbilled income, if that's a feature that I use all the time. So I don't know, that's a thing that I might want to give feedback. And so right here, you can give us feedback on the new, if I go back to the original table view, you notice that feedback is gone. So when I switch it out and it says beta, you can give them feedback on what you're doing. Okay. Let's see. The other thing that I wanted to point out. Let's see. Let's go back to the original. Okay. So from your list of customers, you have this button and you can create a new customer right here. You can click this and you can import customers, or you can create multiple customers at one time using a spreadsheet type look. Okay. Used to be this is only available in advanced. Now it's in QBO Plus. So that's what batch transactions is. So you're basically like typing it in like all of the information at once, like a spreadsheet, and then you save it. You have all of your customers. So that's what multiple transactions means. And I'm no longer there. And I was right here, customers. All right, so this box changes. So let's go, I'm going to go into this, this customer now. I want to close this. Left. Okay, so now I am inside looking at the ABC company, and remember these little guys here? Oh, look at this is new. Schedule an appointment. Let's see. So if I add a note, then this is the same as when I very first set it up. Okay, so I could add a note here. These notes are just for your team. The customer doesn't see these notes. This one right here, create a new task. So this is if you are using QBO's task manager, you can set up like checklists and stuff. Most people like to use like an outside thing like Financial Sense or something, but QBO does have its own internal task manager. And then this is new. I've never seen this, schedule appointment. So let's see what this does. Send invite to schedule. Before inviting your contact to schedule, check your appointment availability. What's this? I don't know. Well, this is all new and fun and interesting to me. I should mention this to Alicia Katz-Pollock and I, in case you don't know, we co-host the, well, she's the main host and I'm a guest host of the UQB podcast, the unofficial QuickBooks Accountants podcast. And my segment is always Look What I Found, or we call it Look What We Found. And so this, I might suggest that we talk about that. All right, so that's new. So here is how you would add all of that information again. That just opens up like we saw before. This does the same as that edit button right there. All right, so all of these things you saw before. And then I can't really talk about the open balance because this person doesn't have any transactions. I really wanted to do that. But the one thing that I wanted to mention is this green button. Remember how when I'm in the customers list, okay, so this is all of my customers. I have this green button is just about creating customers. But if you are inside a customer, you can create a new transaction from that customer right there. And this is, I wanted to point this out because this is something we don't do very often. Our training doesn't point this out very often, but it can be very handy because then all of the information is already copied. So if I want to create an invoice or a payment or a recurring payment link or an estimate, or I'm sorry, a recurring payment, or a payment link, or a sales receipt, credit memo, delayed charge, that's what I talked about, time activity, statement, contract is brand new. I don't know anything about this, but this is a thing that people use other software to like create a contract with a customer. Let's see. I've never seen it before. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's not working. Okay, well, that must be why it says new. All right, request feedback. I don't know what this is either. Request feedback. So I guess you are asking a client, we enjoyed working with you. We hope your services met your expectations. Please fill out this brief survey to tell us how we did and how we might be helpful in the future. So this is brand new. I don't know what it's going to look like. Let's see. Preview survey question. Interesting. Would you work with us again? This one, ask for a review, feedback, or testimonial. Look at this. Look at what you guys are learning today. I had no idea any of this stuff exists. Okay. You can, if your customers give you 4 or 5 stars, they'll be asked to provide a testimonial. I do not know. No, it's not. I don't know where the testimonials go because this is not a QBO A account, so it's not going to be connected to your Pro Advisor account. I don't know. Where do the testimonials go? Let's see. And then, so review and feedback. Okay, review and testimonial. And then ask for a referral. Would you recommend us to somebody so you can send out a referral? So look at that. Oh, here's the email preview. Go to survey. I wonder what this does. I can't, it's not a button. I can't click it. Interesting. All right, let's see. So I'm going to cancel. And all right, so that was those were the main things. What is this edit thing? You could make inactive, you could merge contacts. This is the transaction list. So if I created an invoice or a sales receipt, all that stuff. Activity feed. Oh, here's how you would, here's where the answers go. Now we know. Once ABC Company provides a review, referral, or work request, you'll be able to view and manage their responses here. Manage feedback survey settings. Here it is. Ask for all of this thing. Oh, do it every 90 days. Wow. Okay. Statements, recurring transactions, customer details. If you click that, oh, what happened to it? It should just give us like all the details about that client. Interesting. That seems to be broken. Oh, lovely. My whole thing is broken. Let's see what happens if I... Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, in your list of customers, you also have this down arrow, and you can do all of these things. So the create contract is new, the schedule appointment is new. Let's see if I can create a sales receipt with this person. All right, so there's our sales receipt. Leave without saving. But I really want to edit this customer. And it keeps disappearing. So I don't know, I guess that's my cue to be done talking about this. This class comes from our free Facebook group, the QBO Gym Locker Room. Inside, you'll get access to a free QBO QuickStart course, over 100 hands-on exercises, weekly marketing tips, monthly drawings, and more. The link is below. Join us today. We'd love to see you there.